so don't worry about it too much. There it is.
Oh,
Look at those
I guess we
beautiful
went live
lads.
inadvertently. Oops. All right. Well, here we are.
We're here.
Did you
Are we
open-
live?
Did you?
We're
open
live.
We're live. Hey,
Sorry
everybody.
for the countdown.
Oh,
What's
we're
up?
in.
Do you want to, John? You want to refocus this main
Yeah.
camera while we're here? Look, I can.
This is in focus, but Steven can either go off camera or just get blurry.
Yeah, let me get.
There he is.
There we are.
Woo. Look at the fidelity on that. Did you open your Dragon Lord?
I don't think so, or know if I did.
Did you get it?
I did touch it at one point, and I have not thought about it.
I think it's on
since.
top of that blue box over there.
Shall we open it?
I think we should. We'll see what foil you get. My money's on the Water Dragon because of fate.
I'm gonna plug this thing in the VHS tape. Hi everyone. I sent the update to Discord, and we went live cowboy style today, which I love. We are going to be talking about our training for Sorcery Con Houston. Zach and I are mid-level competitive players. What this basically looks like is a long sine wave where at certain points we get very into trying to win something, or just at least do well. And then we go at it for a few months and try to get weird dark horse decks to do well, pretty much. And then we go to the event and we play, and then we kind of just like, okay, cool, that was fun, and then maybe we'll do it again a year later, 6 months later. You went into your whole fab like straight line thing for a while, but previous
More up into the right line.
previous to that, it's always been like a kind of a spurts of excitement, and then not competing the whole time, very casual most of the time, and then have this moment of let's go try.
I feel like in the 2010s, it was very normal for us to be playing a Fantasy Flight Games game. And when that's true, there was essentially a regional season for like a month or two, and then there was the World Championship.
Yep.
So if you're really into Netrunner, you basically have twice a year where you're going at a different level.
And for me, that's enough.
Yeah.
That's kind of all I need. That's
and
all I
like
have time for.
Sorcery, specifically, the first time I truly tried was at Gen Con, and that didn't go so well. But
Don't tell people you tried on that one.
yeah, I mean, I mediumly
Get a
tried.
chat pulled up.
But we're planning to go to Crossroads Houston, which is in late October or mid-October. I think it's mid-October. It's
coming
the
up,
first
man.
one.
That's like in a month.
Yeah, it's not very far.
We gotta
So
get on this.
basically, if there's not something else we are planning on streaming, it's going to kind of default to this. And we'll see where we get. But I think this stream will primarily be us talking. So if you want a live discussion about life on the competitive side of sorcery, you're in the right spot. And if you have good ideas, you're also in the right spot.
Angerworm is here, so we're gonna get some help.
Yeah. Otherwise, I don't really know what to tell you. I do think Steven might open his Dragon Lord copy here.
Yeah,
I'm
we can do
curious
that
what
right
foil
now.
he's got.
Sure. Check that out.
Which relates into my aspiration for, you have keys right there. That would have worked.
Hey man.
The romance.
Tools for a single purpose.
I'm not
Steven,
gonna
with
make
your
jokes.
with your Dragon Lord, I'd open it to the Water Dragon foil. If your foil's not to your liking, I will trade you because
Okay.
I know you are a water dragon.
Wow.
I'll always play a water dragon. Actually, I think all of them are pretty well unplayable, right? There might be a Dragon Lord deck out there though.
You think the dragons are unplayable?
They just haven't cost anything in this game. Is crazy.
Yeah. Well, when you just get to pay 3 to use their ability as the Dragon Lord,
That's where it's at.
they're all a certain kind of playable.
Water in a lot of ways is very much like Bolton in Flesh and Blood, which is why I love it. But they keep releasing tools for water that are the same thing and they don't solve the fundamental problem. Water Dragon is a good example of that.
Do you ever have moments these days on stream? I'm becoming conscious of all of this, but where you're sitting there listening to the other person.
And you realize you're not listening at all.
No, that's all the time. But you realize that the thing they're saying is very likely going to end up being a short.
Oh no, I'm not even in that space yet. Is
Yeah.
that happening?
Well, yeah, you just said the problem with water is it's like Bolton, and I'm like, this is a short. It's just like short material. So
I just take a second and look at these cards, my man.
I unboxed mine on stream when you were gone.
No.
The week after Gen Con.
Do we have top down, John?
Absolutely.
And I was going through these cards one by one in the way that I feel like you're wanting to do right now.
Yeah.
And I had pretty intentionally avoided seeing anything. And I saw this card.
Oh, these look great, man.
What's the name of the location? The
Dragon
lair?
Lord's Lair.
So I saw this card, and I said, man, this would be killer in foil because I'd want to see this whole art. And then that was my foil by the end of it.
There's Dragon Lord's Lair?
Yep.
Oh,
which
good for you.
I was not unpleased about.
So, I mean, really, this is just who's going to be the best Dragon Lord trigger. That's what we're talking about here.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know enough to know.
I mean, this kind of recursion Xerafen con rule thing.
The Phoenix Dragon?
That's a pay 3 at the end of your turn, banish 2 things and put 1 back in your hand. That that's always gonna. There's some time at some point that's gonna work.
Yeah. Well, it's also if you're playing Dragon Lord specifically, you get to choose the dragon at the start of the game. So you could basically choose a different dragon based on your opponent's avatar.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes these might end up being in a deck just because, let's say you have 2 or 3 uniques in your deck. You choose one at the start. I don't know if people actually play it that way.
Yeah.
That's not how I plan to play it, but it's an option.
Draco Corvus. This is a good one. Now, hold on. Let me read the Dragon Lord again.
Yep.
Set aside a dragon once on your turn if you meet its threshold. Okay, so if I'm playing Air Earth, I can pay 3 for Draco Corvus's ability, which allows my avatar to tap, teleport to a tapped minion, and burrow it.
And it counts airborne and stealth. Those are abilities now. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong, chat.
I know the Airborne's a thing now.
Things have shifted. Anytime a game goes on long enough that fundamental rules change, I'm already bad enough at the rules.
Well, it's not. I wouldn't necessarily call your avatar not being able to be airborne a fundamental rule because it was so niche that none of us ever cared.
Wait, you think they can't be airborne?
It used to be that they couldn't be airborne for some reason.
I'm pretty sure they can't.
I think there was a hard rule that was they can't because you don't want a deck not to be able to attack the avatar and kill it ever. But I don't know if that's true, Zach. This is what I mean. I didn't know the rules because it never mattered. I never played a game where somebody was like, my dragon's airborne or whatever.
Yeah.
I also think it's only till the end of your turn.
Yes.
So it wouldn't matter on the opponent's turn.
There you go. That's right. Moonsong.
This is the one that killed me.
Talagalum.
Look at this thing, man.
It's a wolf dragon.
It's a wolf dragon. He's howling at the moon. I didn't know this was in here, and I almost died when I saw it.
A dragon raised by wolves? That
Yes.
is freaking cool.
That's what I'm saying, Steven.
That's really cool.
My greatest hope for Houston is that I can land on a Dragon Lord deck using Moonsong Talagalum. Is that how you say it? Talagalum?
I said it that way, yeah. I don't know, it's dragon speak, so you figure it out.
Whether or not that's feasible, I don't know. But I really hope it is. I love this card. It's my favorite card in the whole set.
I think you're gonna build this deck. We'll just leave this out here.
I agree.
Just so you can
fawn over it.
You like wolves, too? Wolves and dragons are kind of a similar. They live in the same place in a person's taste pie. You know the
I
spectrum.
definitely like
the dragons of the sky or wolves of the sky, dragons of the ground.
They're the dragons of the forest.
Well, I don't. You know, dragons are kind of. They're more lizardy than wolf-like, but I feel like the same kinds of people that love wolves would probably love dragons. And it's kind of I don't know.
I happen to like both. And the idea of a dragon that thinks it's a wolf is just too good.
Yeah. Telem Dreg.
They can, in fact, benefit from airborne now. Confirmed from Duo in the chat.
All right, so if you're in an Earth deck, Earth Dragon Lord deck, you can get +1 power for each adjacent site. Pay 3, you get +1. That's fine.
So that's
strictly worth an Avatar of Earth, though, right?
No, because Avatar Earth only has +1 from Earth sites.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is Earth and nearby, so it can be up to 9. This is adjacent, so
4.
It could be. Max. I don't think your current site counts as adjacent.
I think it does.
If it does, then 5.
I think it does.
But it's sites.
No, it doesn't.
Period. So I feel like this is way more reliable than the Earth one.
I said to pay 3 though.
For sure. Also can't be moved, so that's interesting.
But only on your turn can't be moved by force. Because it's until the end of your turn.
Yeah.
This turn, yeah. So that doesn't matter. I think it's hard to imagine a deck that you've built that does 3 Earth Threshold that isn't just better out of Avatar of Earth.
I tend to agree.
Shrine of the Dragon Lord. Unique Monument. Genesis. Teleport all dragons to here, including your opponents. That's something. Provides an additional 1 mana in all threshold. Basically, 1 of each. Could be good in Templar. Get those knights going.
I mean, if you're going to play a core that costs 1 and gives you a resource in a threshold, this is in there, in the same lane.
Isn't it?
And if you're playing Dragon Lord, you can obviously transport yourself when you play this as well. So I definitely think this is, if you're going to be playing cores, this is right in there.
This is a weirdly good card. Do you think you replace any cores with this?
I think it depends on your deck and whether threshold matters.
Because you pay 2 and you get basically kind of both cores. Because the threshold most of the time on the second core is really the only thing that matters because you've already hit your cap.
2 cost versus 1 cost really doesn't matter that much.
It doesn't matter that much.
If you play this early, which is when you want to be playing a core anyway.
I also feel like though that turn 1 core, turn 2 3-drop is a big move.
Yeah,
it's a big move. Kairos.
You're gonna hate this card.
Oh no, I actually love this card. I don't hate this. I actually love this.
So as far as I know, the way this works, you play it, you take a picture. And when he dies, you return the state of the board to that picture.
Yeah. But you don't, but the health totals don't go back.
Just the board state.
Just the board state. Sick, dude. This is so, what this is a cultural touch point for the game. I don't care what it does and how it works. It's just basically saying, y'all, deal with this. It's not good in super hyper competitive rules, best of 3. Don't care.
Yeah.
Don't care. Figure it out. Sort it out. I'm not your mom. Cradle of Ethereum. Cradle of Ethereum. 2 cost. Anytime during your turn, you may look at your next spell. Okay. I do that at the beginning.
Or you draw. Do it again.
Yeah, do it again. I guess that's right. You may cast dragons from the top of your spellbook for 1 less. This effect is great.
So the problem, I don't think we have enough dragons for this to be playable yet. But if we eventually have enough low cost, mid cost dragons, this will be a very good card at some point.
I think even if you had a few more play the top card of your deck, like Shapeshift, right? Look at the top 5 for Transform. If you get enough of those kinds of cards, then that knowledge might be worth. Because you don't want to burn a random top of deck card and get nothing. That happens in games a lot, right? So, not sure if it's worth it because it's a card, but oh, looky there. Foil popped right out.
Oh my goodness!
The water dragon.
It was the water dragon.
No need to trade.
I'm like an oracle.
Yeah.
But literally, I was open and I got to the location. I said, "This is the one I want," and I did it. And then before you started, I said, "It's gonna be the water dragon."
It's gotta be, right? Gotta try it. Adtonium. So if I'm playing 3 air, I get airborne movement +1 is actually quite relevant for an avatar.
Can you imagine?
Whenever I stop, I can deal 3 damage to another random unit. That's pretty good.
That's so good.
That's pretty good.
You can airborne +1 movement in airborne is crazy.
Yeah.
How far you can go, and then you just lightning bolt something for 3 without spending a card every time.
That's pretty good. It's a 3-cost lightning bolt, but you expose your avatar a little bit. That's great. Curious. They're all on the edge of maybe. Ignis Rex. Once on your turn, discard a fire card. Deal 3 damage to units at target adjacent location. Yeah, that's not good enough. Sorry. There's an overcosting on things that do a lot of damage to everything on the site. It just doesn't have it. People just don't do that.
Yeah. One thing on either of those abilities is it's very like in-game defeat the other avatar at death's door is awesome. Like especially the lightning one, like moving that far and just hitting 3 on that location. This is all things on that location.
This is a guaranteed death's door finisher, which is nice actually.
So like
discarding a fire card, that is a real cost.
Now it's also 3 fire thresholds, so you have to be heavy fire.
Heavy fire, and you have to pay 3, and you have to discard a card, and you get 3 damage.
It's a very corner case of corner cases, but Ignis also can't be taken out by Poison Nova.
That's right. It's immune to fire damage. No Poison Nova. And finally, Vatten Draconis. So this is a 3 water. Pay 3 at the end of your turn. I'm just reading the Dragonlance text. It doesn't say this on the card. It's Dragon.
I was like, where is that?
It's just my brain has to process it. So I pay 3 at the end of my turn. I submerge all minions and artifacts here. Which unfortunately, the biggest problem right now with the water submergy style decks is making things water. I mean, that's the real holdup here. So the ability to submerge things on a water site, you're already winning if there's water everywhere. If this said, for instance, at the end of your turn, permanently flood a site and submerge all minions and artifacts, that would be crazy, right? That would actually solve the problem. But like for me to run pirate ships, I need a consistent way to get things of yours turned into water. Mm-hmm. And that's really the whole point of water as an element, right? Is to find a way to run a pirate ship. 4/5. It's the biggest. It's a 5 strength unit. If you can't run your pirate ships, why even play water? That's what I don't understand. At the same time, though, I am doing that exact thing, playing water and not running pirate ships. Idea.
Water's kind of popular right now, right?
Water is kind of popular, so it could be a good thing. Maybe the pirate ships are back in. Cool. Yeah, that's for you. You just want to look at it a little bit.
Yeah.
You can put it back in the stack whenever you want.
I like the steam? No, what do you, when you can see your breath, what is that called?
Wow.
There's a word for that, right?
There absolutely is.
We're both blanking.
Like, I just thought like fog, and it's like, no.
I thought steam,
exhale?
but I know that's wrong. There's a word for your breath that you can see when it's cold. This and more on the Covenant live stream.
You're watching. You get to watch people age from like 20-ish to 40 in real time, like pretty real time.
We're about to see the 40 to 60 leap.
You're going to the now. You're at the stream where they can't remember the basic nouns.
Cyanide exasperation.
No.
Condensation.
No, maybe there isn't a word. Well, we did it. Or everybody else is over 40 in the chat too. Well, we're not over 40, but we're approaching.
Okay, so here's what I am thinking.
We can go face up for this beautiful conversation.
We could call this the mugshot. So here's what I'm thinking. Things I need to understand at this point that I don't. And I think everyone out there can be very helpful for this, which is what is the state of the meta now? Mm-hmm. And then second one is what are actual areas of interest that either of us have in terms of a deck we would want to be playing. Mm-hmm. And then after that, we can actually do the like theory crafting deck building, which I assume will happen a lot over the next week in like Discord and conversations going on. So that hopefully by next week, perhaps we can have a couple of the meta decks built. Mm-hmm. Maybe we can each have a deck we actually want to play built, and we can play a couple games against the meta decks and then using our pet decks and go from there. Mm-hmm. So do you have any idea what the meta looks like right now?
I've actually watched some games. I watched the finals of Gen Con. I've got the deck kind of pulled up.
Man.
So the hot sauce is basically, there's a bunch of different ways to build Druid throughout time and space. And the one that kind of became the norm, is certainly the one at Gen Con, is the Steam Druid. And why is it called Steam, Zach?
If I had to guess,
yeah,
it's because it has that wolf in it with the breath. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
I'm going to guess it's probably got fire and water.
Nailed it. It does. In fact, it does have fire and water.
Those are the elements of creating steam.
What up, Totally Random? Good to see you. So here's the rundown of Steam Druid from the winner of Gen Con.
Do we know the winner's name? I'm gonna ask you on the spot question.
No,
I don't either.
I don't. We're not locked into the community hard enough.
Well, it's because we're playing Sorcery as God intended it.
That's right. We're totally oblivious to what's going on out there.
Seriously, though.
It's like this Battle Mage deck is going to crush Gen Con.
Yeah.
Gen Con 2025 Sorcery Finals. Remember when we used to upload these and record these, and that was our whole like content model?
The gameplay videos?
Yeah.
Yeah, from Gen Con.
Duo, Duo's in the chat. Duo's the winner.
Duo, we have Duo present. Holy smokes.
Nate Duo Smith.
Kissed by God.
And Fwin Frapp. I wonder if that's an actual name or if that's a... Duo in the chat. What's up?
Duo. We need some help.
Okay, I watched an interview with Duo. It was like 4 hours long. It was crazy, and I only kind of watched it.
It was on in the background.
Yeah, I was thinking it was Golden Eagle and Duo talking for 1,000 hours.
I watched a fair amount of Golden Eagle before Gen Con.
Mm-hmm.
They
Golden Eagle's
they
put
were
in
doing
the
some
hard
work.
yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, put in the hard yards for
Shout
sure.
out to Golden Eagle.
Providing
2
a lot
thumbs
of
up. If,
very helpful things.
if you're wanting to try, so unlike watching this content, if you're wanting to try to learn and be good at sorcery, Golden Eagle is a pretty good place to start. I think that would be my top recommendation so far from my experience.
That's right. Golden Eagle cards.
But if you want to watch 2 aging men grasping at the glory days of their card game tournaments and just watching that process play out, this content is where you should be.
Don't you know that, sometimes you're in the tournament and you get those old guys and they're just like, dang, dude, they've been doing this for so long and they're so much better than me.
That's how, when we started playing Game of Thrones, I felt like Greg Atkinson.
Atkinson and John Bruno.
Oh my god.
Just unbelievable. And one time
Bruno
sent me a Greyjoy deck list and it was just like, it looked like an absolute pile of potatoes. I mean, it was like, there's no focus here. There's no purpose to this. I played it for a couple of months and then I was like, this is the greatest deck of all time. They just see it differently, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely, those are 2 excellent examples of those kind of players.
And then I beat Greg in the top 4 in Missouri and won his eternal respect. He told me that, actually. He was like, this is the first time I've been so obviously outplayed at every turn in Game of Thrones.
Wow. And Greg is good.
So what I'm saying is I can do it.
Yeah.
I just need to practice a lot.
See, how I do it in Thrones is not by earning respect or being good, but you show up enough times. You remember that time I had the Dothraki City deck?
It was so good.
That was one of my favorite. I just remember it was round 4 or 5, and I got paired against my brother Tim, and he was on that Stark all-character deck that just flops something
Just
out
flopped
every
it.
turn.
Yeah, flopped the winter. It was it puts a location at the very beginning of the game, and then it just winter. Yeah.
Well, we got paired in round 4 or 5, and we're both undefeated, and we sit down, and like the day before the tournament, we're just like, we know we're gonna get slaughtered. Yeah. And we're the 2 undefeateds left, and we look at each other, and we just start hysterically laughing.
Let's do that at SCG Con.
Finals of SCG Con, we'll just start laughing. People will think we're crazy. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Okay, here's the TLDR. First of all, in Duo's words, if I can mince them slightly, fire and water have the most busted unique cards in the game.
Well, as a fire person myself, and as a water person yourself, neither of us can complain then.
Yeah,
because we both have the busted cards.
Yeah.
Does he say swap should never have been made?
Doesn't say that, but I mean, I didn't hear that. But swap is the best water card of all time. It's actually, it's problematically good. I don't know. So
going back to my Gen Con experience, I decided to play Battle Mage, which I think when swap didn't exist was an okay decision, and when swap did exist, it was horrible. I lost round 2 and 3, and swap every time was like devastatingly crushing me, which is going to factor into point 2, which is what deck I want to play for this event, because swap does exist.
Swap is a big part of the new meta. Big part. Okay. But as an example of the broken uniques, Jihad. Great aura, right? We all know that.
You can play fire things here, and it's +1. Fire things are +1.
Yeah. We've got the Great Famine. You just slap it on the thing, the strongest thing dies.
Great Famine is a card I'm familiar with. It's very good.
Atlantean Fate, probably the single most impactfully busted card in the entire game.
Yeah, and these are all of these are aura-based, multi-location effects that are
Atlantean Fate is actually, it has to be the strongest card in this game.
Every time this got played on me, every time it gets played on me, I think this has to be one of the best cards in the game.
I think the slider of your odds of winning if you play this card as the water player probably are 80% swapped up.
Yeah, so if it's 50-50, you're on water, so it's 40-60.
Hey,
but
not
then
anymore, buddy.
If you play this card most of the time, you go from 40-60 to 75-25.
Maybe 80-20.
Yeah.
More. Okay, what else do we have? Morgana Le Fay, probably the single best unit in this game. Best minion.
She good. And let's just take a minute and honor.
What even is this card, honestly?
Honor Jussie, because this art
this is crazy.
Tremendous. 3 cost. It is 3 threshold. 3.
If you put this card in front of any game designer anywhere, they would say, is your game the kind of game where you draw 5 cards at the start of the turn? Because if it's not, this is absolutely mind-blowingly crazy.
It's very good.
3 cards
Agreed. Yep. 2 thumbs up.
and stealth for no reason and 3 power. Why not? Just the whole bag. Even make it 1 power. Make it 1 power. It's Morgana. She's a wizard. Why is it 3?
It's 3.
That's the strength of a boss troll.
I'll tell you why it's 3. It's 3 because it's 3 threshold. All right, hang with me. That's a lot.
Is it 333? Is that
No, but
a sacred number?
It's the fact that if you're going to get a 3 threshold and spend a card that draws you 3, but the 3 are conditional on that card staying in play. That's why they give it stealth, and that's why they give it 3. So that you don't have like 1 damage effects just getting her off the table.
Yeah, you mean like balance?
Yeah, like honestly, I think it would be okay if this card said this unit cannot attack. They would have achieved what they were trying to achieve by giving it 3.
Sure.
In that they just don't want you playing this and her just disappearing before you get to use anything.
Like every other unit that I play.
Right, but it's unique, and she's a powerful, wizard, etc. So I got it. Anyways, I digress.
This is a slightly different list than duos. This is the one I pulled in from Zalem. He's usually kind of got his finger on the pulse.
Zalem knows what's up.
Yeah, usually. So this will be slightly different, but the same idea. Then we've got Boudica.
That card is... So, one deck, my second choice deck would have been Archimago, which I call the Toy Soldier deck, where you just play a bunch of foot soldiers. And this card in that deck is wild sometimes. Anyways.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Or your Plague of Frogs, suddenly 7 frogs that are each doing 3 damage.
Frogs. I would never even consider this card with frogs because frogs is water.
Well, it's 3 threshold water too, so it's hard to pull that one off.
You're going to end up in 6. Or no, you're going to have cores and all that
4
garbage.
waters and call it good. Ruler of Thule. This is one of the greatest cards in Sorcery.
Yeah. You know what? These are all the water cards I hate.
Yeah, they're the best ones.
It's like, oh, they play it, the game shifts.
Yeah, they're good. Courtesan Theus. I wish to God that this card was banned. I hate this card.
Why is this in the list?
Why is it in the list? Because it's an instant win if you're ahead. Have you seen this card before?
So, yeah, I've seen it. I was reading the flavor text. If you're ahead, you play this at the end of you've used everything. Then you take over your opponent's seat.
I just put it to you this way. I get you to Death's Door. I play this. You're dead. Next turn, I just run you into whatever and kill you. It's just like, it's kind of like, you remember the old Monster Apocalypse with the fire kami flipping the rubble? That's what this is. It ends the game a turn earlier in an inevitable way than it otherwise would.
I see.
That's how the game ended in the finals.
Oh, really?
It was like a really tight, awesome game, and then it's like, bleh.
I need to watch the finals, I guess.
Also, one of the few ways to mess with Archimago, which I believe, like you could cast their dumb spells out of and get all their discard pile done and all that. Yeah, so maybe it should exist. I don't know, but it's not Steven's favorite. Pact with the Devil.
Yeah,
kill that owl.
That's a good card.
Draw 3 cards.
It's so good with the owl.
It's so good with the owl. Yeah, hate it.
It's so good with the owl.
Yeah, so good with the owl.
Is Druid legal for Houston? Has it been banned yet?
No, it won't be banned. No.
Are we sure?
It will not be banned. 100% will not be banned.
Eric, if you're out there.
What do you ban Druid and then Archimago's too good, and then you ban Archimago, and then what's the next one?
I ban them all.
I think that the meta is super cool right now, personally, as somebody who's not engaged with it whatsoever. it seems good.
Druid seems...
Listen, man. Druid is not doing anything that is inherently broken. It's simply putting an owl into play every turn.
No. And it gets a 4 health bodyguard.
Yeah, it puts the bear up. That's fine.
And it gets an AoE when anything moves for 1.
Well, you just don't kill it that way. You kill it with a spell.
Once you flip over to Bruin, you lose the ability to get...
the owl's gone.
Owl.
Yeah,
so your problems are solved, man.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to do 4 damage past that, and then, there's some problems, but just bury it.
Well, it's less about how...
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. But I'm saying it's not doing anything. I mean...
Well, what it is doing
is just
being...
an owl.
The floor is higher than any other avatar. For that avatar.
Yeah, maybe. You think so? I think Sorcerer's floor is the lowest on Earth. Or the highest.
I think
what does it mean? What does a high floor mean? So hard to get onto it?
High floor means the worst you can do. Like if an avatar can perform scale of 1 to 10, the floor on Druid is like a 5.
Oh, I don't think that's true. I think there's a lot of people who would play Druid very badly. I think it takes finesse to know where Tawny's supposed to be, and do you block or not, and do you put it in the next place, and then where do I need it to be for these lava flows?
I would say it takes finesse if I hadn't been beaten repeatedly by Roger with a very bad Druid deck.
Yeah, well. The floor on Sorcerer, though, has got to be pretty high, too, right? 2 cards a turn, you can kind of not be great, and that's an advantage. You still do great sometimes. Archimago, very low floor. You can play very bad Archimago. Is that what that means?
Yes.
But the ceiling, presumably,
very high.
Very high.
It's also like, what's the floor with a reasonable player? Like, not that how poorly could you play this, but like if you were a decent player, what's the worst you could do?
Mm-hmm.
I think the floor on Druid with a decent player is very high.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've got Druid, and that's kind of the idea of this deck, Zach, I know you're going to be confused by it, but you have the owl, which means the trinkets are great. So you draw a trinket or 2, your owl's swinging for 3 every turn. There you go. And then you complement that with all the standard fire garbo. The Violamps, the Kobolds, the direct damage, and all the charge cards. And so you just go and you kill. And that's the idea. And yet Lava Flow is a hit. The duo was a big Lava Flow believer.
Lava Flower.
The owl positions that Lava Flow, and then it actually hits nicely.
Well, we got some comments coming in from Duo and others.
Yeah, but let's not hit that yet, because this is the baseline.
Okay.
Of where things are. Okay, so that to me is Steam Druid. Done. It won the Gen Con, so a lot of people are going to be attacking this deck in the SCG Con world. Or it's going to adapt.
What often happens is partially attacking, but also it's sort of just like we said, it's a floor you have to be able to get on. So people will not be surprised by this deck, and they will probably practice against it, regardless of how they're like specifically targeting it.
Yeah,
you have no advantage from maybe at Gen Con someone got paired into you has never experienced your deck.
Yeah,
which is a big advantage.
That is an advantage.
So,
but it's also hard for a really high end player to not have experienced your deck if it's also good, because they've seen it, because they've been testing and they've tried the idea that maybe you. That's the thing that I always keep in mind is like, I'm coming in here as a random person once every month to try to figure something out. If you're playtesting all the time, you've gone through my deck that I think is this cool dark horse thing onto the next one that is much better. And so then I show up at the tournament and it's like, you've never seen this before. And they're like, we saw that 2 months ago. We crushed it and we moved on. But maybe not this time. So that's Steam Druid. But then we also have Archimago lurking in the background. Now, a lot of people say, well, nobody wanted to play Archimago at Gen Con because it's kind of it's not the most fun way to do it. And also there's time limits and you're in the middle of this Gen Con hall and maybe you want to go have lunch. So nobody just wanted to grind out and be the Archimago player who could be the Archimago player in the top 8s and the finals. That's one theory of the case. The best players just didn't play Archimago because it was annoying.
What's the rebuttal to that?
Maybe they did, or maybe Steam Druid was seen to be better, or there were decks that were beating Archimago in their testing, which meant that they just didn't want to bring it because it was not as good as it used to be in the current meta.
My testing was limited and rudimentary. However, it was just me and Roger, right?
Right.
After about 2 weeks of playing, my conclusion was that Druid was better than Archimago. Clearly, we weren't playing the most optimized decks and whatnot, but it felt like it was doing unfair things more often in the various iterations that we were trying than Archimago was doing. And then Druid ended up winning the tournament. So I wasn't exactly surprised by that.
But, I mean, here's the question, though, for me, is that I think Archimago is still very much out there and probably has some adapted and further tweaked builds that are even better than what was before. But not for us because we haven't seen them and we're not testing it. So we don't know the next brew of Archimago that's going to going to work. We know the ability is super strong. What we also know, in my opinion, is that a meta pulled between an aggro, steamy Druid deck and an Archimago, control-y, can't attack me, Gnome Hollows, play Craterize, whatever deck, finding a deck that can be both reliably is very difficult. You have to slow down the hyper aggro steam Druid stuff, but you also have to be fast enough or effective enough to kill Archimago before the end game, where they win.
Yeah.
And that means you have found the perfect deck in Sorcery. And that usually doesn't exist. So you kind of have to choose what side of the attack you're going to be on. Are you going to be better against the aggro style decks? Or are you going to be better into the control style decks? Where do you want to place yourself? What are the commentariats saying?
Yeah, so do a couple of comments saying there's several decks that eat Hot Springs / Steam's breakfast now.
Okay.
Sorcerer is one of the decks that is trending up as a response to Druids.
Sorcerer isn't a deck. That's the hard part about it. Because if you said, I'm going to bring a Sorcerer deck, I have no information about what that means.
Yeah, you could be playing any elements, you can be doing whatever you want. And then Duo also added, I personally think it was more of the recent rules change just before Gen Con combined with the round timer that kept people off Archimago.
That's right.
And that was a really big deal. So we were in the middle of testing before the rules change happened. The rules change happened, which is what got me to go Battle Mage, because suddenly strikes on sites very different. And then I don't know exactly when Swap was a known entity. I didn't know about it.
I didn't really know it was going to be at Gen Con either.
Until that weekend, and boy howdy did I learn about it in a profound sort of way, and I think that card's absolutely crazy.
I think that gives you I think water as an element has gone through the roof after the Hot Springs winning and then Swap being more ubiquitous. That water is going to have a bigger presence, it does mean, like, if you're running water, do you now run more cards like Drown and these kinds of things that are going to be more effective because there's more water on the board? Does a mono water deck that is heavier into things like pirate ships and submerged units and mesmerism and the big creatures, is that now better because the waterbound stuff is potentially going to have more water to move into on your opponent's side of the board? That's a little dance that has to happen too. And I know there was at least one or two like big water decks playing big crazy stuff that were doing really well in the last league, the most recent league, like top 80 kind of, top 16 kind of stuff. So that now water kind of gets better because water is better. Does that make sense?
Which then makes Earth better.
Which kind of does make Earth better, and then it's back to...
Because you can't get drowned on the ground, you know what I mean?
Can't get drowned on ground. Do I go back to... But now berries are less good, earthquakes are less good because there's more water.
It makes it Earth... Well...
Unless everybody pivots to Earth to counter water, and now you can attack them.
I think this is why card games are amazing, right?
This is why Sorcery, the card game, is so freaking good, Zach. I go into Deck Builder, and there's all sorts of bizarre solutions to problems that I had overlooked for 1,000 years.
Yeah, because, like... Swap existing as an example to me would mean Battle Mage is off my list, period. Avatar of Earth would have been a much better choice. Not relying on... Even Swap to me makes things like Ring of Morgan and the cores. I was already dubious on the cores, but makes those less appealing.
Questionable.
And so even just Swap's existence means I think people probably start using less things like that. But then that also is weird because Swap is less good.
But Swap is also... there's also the old Hamilton school of, make them have it kind of thing, where they're going to use Swap in some way that is great. Because they can swap minions for minions. They can get a really good 2-for-1 trade. They can kill you at Death's Door with that. The card is great, even if it's not grabbing artifacts. So then are you just making yourself worse against non-swap stuff whenever that card's going to be good anyway? So why not?
Yeah, well, I guess it's sort of like the cores are a good example of this, where before, of course, you see it early, probably pretty good. You see it late, not so good. With Swap, now it's if you see it early, half the time, they're going to teleport their minion to you and take your core, especially if you don't have Swap yourself. In which case, it's also not good early.
Yeah, and that trade is so devastating that is almost irrecoverable.
So it's not that it's unplayable, but especially I would say any item that is expensive gets very questionable.
Very.
Which is where Battle Mage just like dies immediately.
Yeah.
On that hill.
Yeah.
But these are just factors. Same with if water is going to be popular, maybe Earth is good, but also like Earth is not playing Earthquake and Berry, or as many as those are just like clutch Earth cards in a meta when water was basically non-existent, and suddenly water is existent.
Yeah.
So then you see. Yeah, I'm just filtering through. Also, Duo was saying specifically Sorcerer, Earth, Fire control.
Kind of the classic Sorcerer, right? We're back. Because what else gets? I'm currently on like an Earth Water build, as you might say, with the Mud Wizard, right? So we've been working on this for a long time, just playing around with some concepts. It's kind of some people call it a push-pull deck. There's iterations of these concepts, but I mean, Swap makes things like Pudge Butcher 1,000 times better.
Crazy,
right? Move stuff out of the way, get the hook to the avatar. Bring them to your side of the board. Those kinds of trades are now...
Or like you swap their unit into a spot that the Pudge can get, or you swap your Pudge into a spot. Because you can put a unit where you want the Pudge.
Right,
swap
Pudge is over here on their side of the board, grabs their avatar, and it's just beating it. Now that a mobile can attack, I mean...
Well, especially a mobile attack. You get Pudge in a spot you want him in, and it happens to be your opponent's site that he can start punching to when there's not things to be grabbing.
Yeah, Nelly Longarm, same thing, right? Grab and drown a unit. It's
now
like
you got two of those.
Now you can grab. I mean, now you can move something out of the way, move something into a water site, grab it, drown it, gain some card advantage that way. There's some. Swap is a massive card.
I think Duo may have just answered one of my questions about
massive card.
Like Swap being a promo card right now. Do you plan around a card that has limited access? But apparently, it's not as limited as I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I think everyone at SCG Con gets them.
Oh, really?
I think so.
At Gen Con, that was not the case. I don't even actually know how to
check on that. Yeah. I don't know how to get them either. Well, I'm going to borrow them from David, probably.
Well, that's one way to get them.
But they're signed by Drew Tucker, and so like that's a lot of high value, like important stuff for me to carry around on a tournament day.
Yeah, good. But Swap's good enough to risk.
I wonder
whatever.
if Jesse's going to be there. By the way, do you know that?
Yeah, it's part of where we're going.
So maybe he's got some swaps. He's like a part of the organization.
Or perhaps he could swap you for some swaps. So
how do we attack? What are we targeting? How do we attack it, etc.?
I definitely think we need to be able to jump the Druid Steamboat hurdle. Just generic. I think it'd probably be good for us to build that, some iteration of that. Archimego is fine too. I do think Sorcerer Fire Earth is like an old standby. That's also a deck I would play. So that's semi-high on my list. I think I'm going to just, for my pet deck, focus in on the Wolf. And I don't know what that means.
If anyone, a Wolf deck.
If anyone has a clever thought.
That's incredible. You're building a Wolf deck.
Yeah, so my Grey Wolf.
Testing sessions are going to be worthless.
Yeah, well, no, because I'm not going to just play that the whole time. So it's Air Earth, because I want to play the Moon Song, the Wolf Dragon. Whether or not it's Dragon Lord, I don't know. But
it probably isn't.
That's what I need to work out.
It's got to be Sorcerer.
In this next. Duo earlier, or Angerworm, was saying Seer for some reason. Can you pull Seer up?
Seer Wolf deck?
Yeah. I don't know why.
Must be an important side, I guess.
Because the art is incredible.
It is the best.
Best looking avatar.
Yeah, Dan Seagrave is the jam. There's nothing like it.
So that's where I will be spending my exploratory points. Otherwise, it does feel like Sorcerer, Druid, Archimego are kind of like the meta triangle.
And I think there's probably some weird Enchantress stuff going on too, because now the Earth Aura doesn't disable itself or immobile itself, which I know for Enchantress players was a long-standing problem. Entangled Terrain, I think, is the one that when you animated Entangled Terrain, it immediately made itself immobile.
Oh.
So that is no longer the case, which means that the Enchantress decks can bring this in as an ordinary 4-strength aura that's also making everything around them immobile, which, as you can imagine, is very strong. So there's people like Zalem who love the Enchantress, and it's going to be like, this is the moment I've been waiting for. And so there's going to be the weird Enchantress deck that shows up that probably is going to do well.
That was one of the notable things at Gen Con. If you look at the breakdown of avatars, Druid was popular. There was way less Archimago than I expected. But then there were like 13 or 14 other avatars present. There will be weird decks.
Yeah.
But that's also where like trying to establish what are like the generic... You have to have like something to start with.
Well, okay, here's another theory of the case for you. This is where I tend to end up if I've kind of been tuned out for a while. The other thing we can do, and seeing Avatar Bear also floating around, which Avatar Bear just always there. I don't even know why or how, but it's there. I've seen it work. I've played against it. I've seen it in action.
Can we pop Avatar Bear? Is that in the system?
It moves stuff around. It puts them in bottomless pits. It flies stuff. It's playing like this weird fundamentals game, which is nice.
Also, man, this art is crazy.
You get to fly. You get to push your stuff forward. You push their stuff off the. You do all sorts of stuff.
I'm just looking. Duo Saint, Avatar Bear, and Enchantress are both considered suitable. Where
healthy is that?
Where does Avatar of Earth rank? Because that
poorly. Here,
that's always a temptation for me.
Don't do it, Zach.
The dark is calling.
Here's the other thing we do.
Yep.
So all of these, the meta is in a fairly open state, I would say. So what do? You go back to the foundational concepts of deck building. You don't necessarily target a certain deck. You just say, what does a good deck in Sorcery need to be able to do? I think you look at things like card advantage, removal, mass removal against your Foot Soldier deck, for instance. Do I have anything that targets enchantments, auras, artifacts, etc.? Can I play high value units? Can I attack sites? Just what does a good sorcerer deck look like? And that's kind of where I ended up on the current iteration in Mud Wizard. It's like, just play sorcerer, play good units. Yeah, it's not good. Play sorcerer, play good units. Have a bunch of removal. Wait until they run out of cards. Druid's going to run out of cards.
I feel like Earth, Fire, Sorcerer is if I can't make the Wolf deck work deck, I'll probably end up playing.
The default.
So that'll be good for everyone here if I'm genuinely testing that. It's very effective. Like if we both have a kind of standard deck that is a maybe deck for us, then I can play a deck like Sorcerer that is actually helpful for you.
Yeah.
And vice versa, whatever. And I'm happy to play whatever. We'll need to get the reps in.
And see, I think there are good reasons. Like Sorcerer again is back, and Sorcerer is always going to be the answer to any avatar that doesn't generate card advantage on its own from the ability. Because if the Sorcerer deck can simply outlast, you can literally spend 2 cards removing one of their cards every turn, and eventually you will win the game.
If they only have 1 card.
Yeah, because they're going to have 1, and eventually you're going to get a 1-for-1, and then sometimes you get a 2-for-1, and then it's over. They draw 1 card a turn, they play their owl, and that's all they can do. So you need to outlast that deck. The question there, though, is, but the 10-card sideboard, can you switch your Sorcerer deck into a more aggro state of mind to outpace the Archimago deck?
But isn't the sideboard in the tournament just cards? Like, you don't get to change your deck.
Well, they did at Gen Con. Is that not it anymore?
Did we have a sideboard Gen Con?
They did, or somebody did. The finals people did. Because it was, when am I going to shift into the Seattle tournament did. Because they shifted
maybe in
cards.
Seattle.
Are we not doing that anymore?
I thought the sideboard as of Gothic was going to be
your collection.
Well, cards that say from your collection. And kitchen table play literally means your collection, and in tournaments means this sideboard of cards that you have.
But you don't swap.
But you don't get to like swap in a tournament setting.
If we're not swapping, that's actually better. I prefer that.
Yeah, I think it's just this is your 50. Duo saying no sided.
Okay.
So presumably, if you had a card that was like play a dragon from your collection would be these 10 cards over here instead of people having binders of cards eventually.
Okay, so you have to be a true mid range. That's the problem to me is you have to be a true mid range deck. you have to go into Archimago fast enough, but you also have to be able to stop Druid long enough that your card advantage kicks in.
But I think that, these terms of control, aggro, mid-range, like, there are control cards that are also units.
Yeah, for sure.
And so...
Maybe it's not those terms. I'm saying, let's say Steam Druid is a fast deck. It wins quickly. Mid-range is trying to slow the fast decks down enough that it can out-value them.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's trying to be fast enough to also kill the slow decks. And the slow decks win if the game goes long.
Yeah. So I would build Sorcerer. I'll try to find a list, an actual good list. But I will build Sorcerer in mid-range control, but leaning aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
But it's probably just mid-range, right? Where it's
would just say mid-range leaning fast.
Yeah.
Probably.
That's typically where I end up when I play control. Is like you kind of have these little grindier exchanges where if you keep the board clear, but you have a little 3 damage thing happening.
Mm-hmm.
That's like burn back in the Targaryen days. But anyways, do I say mid range isn't fast enough against?
That's the challenge, right? Like that's kind of the issue.
Yeah. So you just scoop when you get paired against Archimega and Avalanche.
Well, or you just try to be as fast as the fast deck and win against the slow decks, but also have a 50-50 against the fast ones and get lucky and get skilled on the day and rely on piloting to get you through. I
really enjoyed playing the Archimego Foot Soldier deck.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be on my actual deck rotation.
That deck will beat most decks. It's just most people are not ready to play against Archimago, period, especially that version of Archimago. It's just thinking about a swarm of units is not really at the top of mind for people right now. If the Fire Earth Sorcerer is running Poison Nova, that's a different story. But it's like nobody's running Rain of Arrows, and it's Poison Nova or not. That's basically it.
Yeah. That'll just be on my mess with list. But stop one is I need to decide if the Wolf Dragon deck actually is a deck or is a fantasy.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I know what my brain says, but I also know what my heart says.
And see, I think my theory going in is I'm going to do Earth, Water, Sorcerer. And my game into Steam Druid is Pebbled Paths, turns off charge.
Earth, hold on, let me process this. Earth, Water,
yeah.
Sorcerer, you said.
Yeah. That's the classic Mud Wizard.
And your game plan into who?
Game plan into Steam Druid or Hot Springs or fast decks at all. Pebbled Paths, turns off charge. White Heart. Units and locations can't be attacked.
Whiteheart is one of my favorite cards in the
super
game.
Good. Resilient units with Shield Maidens and Shelly Coats. The classic Mud Wizard stuff David and I have been working on. You make very resilient units. That
do you think this is legit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is I mean, I don't know. I'm not.
Well, like with the Wolf deck, I actually think it's like 85% chance it's not actually a good enough deck.
No, I think I think any Sorcerer dual element deck has a shot.
Okay. See, this is like Tier 1.5, you think this can actually be there?
I think so. Like, I think if you play the best cards in the 2 factions you choose and you're running Sorcerer, I think that's a good deck no matter what you do.
Hard to go wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so I try to slow down all of the charge fire stuff enough to where my 2 cards a turn eventually overcomes their 1 card a turn. Trade a lot of berries, a lot of drowns, a lot of earthquakes, polymorph, that kind of stuff. Just removal and bodies. High quality bodies. You get Boss Troll 2 for 3. You get Unicorn 3 for 4. You get Cat 3 for 4. You get Phalanx 4 for 5.
It's like the Earth package, and then you have some water cards, like
and then you have Swap,
the big cat. Yeah,
you got 3 swaps. And then into Archimago, you go into the pull them to your side of the board. That's your game plan.
Archie
You
specifically.
got 3 Pudges. You've got Nelly. You've got Swap. You're trying to get them away from their Gnome Hollows and all their garbage. Pull them to you and dogpile them with big stuff. I see.
Yeah. How do you deal with what's the can't projectile?
Can't enter projectile. The whatever thing.
It's not Briar. Is Briar Bramble?
No, it's a impenetrable cops.
Is
cops.
That it?
Something cops.
Also, Nelly is one of the creepiest arts. Yeah, that's it. Look at that.
Yeah,
I love that. Who did this? Drew Tucker.
Drew.
Okay. It's Drew. It's always Drew. You don't. You Rift Valiant. I mean, that's your answer.
Okay. Yeah.
Something like that, or
Is there something that blanks location at this point?
There's the smokestacks.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love smokestacks.
So yeah, and it's one of those things you can't, they can't count on your side.
Are you running Atlas Wanderers?
No, it's 3 thresh. I can't do 3 in the Sorcerer duel. But so I think that has at least that has a theory for how it would beat the slow inevitable decks and the fast rush fire charge decks. And I think the key is, and I built this Mud Wizard deck at the very beginning because I was so tired of getting my stuff destroyed by you with Violimps and random damage and Colicky Dragonets and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's like, listen, what kind of deck can I build that will never suffer this fate again? And it's Shelly Coat, Shield Maiden, super high power stuff. Like, it's all of that. So that's what I'm thinking. And how do you build a Grey Wolves deck? It's not just wolves.
No, it can't just be wolves, but it is some number of wolves. I don't even know.
What's a wolf cost? 30?
So the wolf costs 3. It's 2 earth, 1 air. Airborne counts as a Grey Wolf, has +1 power for each other Grey Wolf nearby. So if you are running Dragonlord, at any point you can pay 3 to get Airborne and +1 for every nearby Grey Wolf.
But, in my mind, probably what that looks like is you're paying 3 to give all your wolves +1. Like, because you're nearby them and they get +1 for every Grey Wolf. So your avatar gun.
It's both.
But like the idea that you're going to spend 2 turns walking up to attack something with all this plus power and playing sights and like.
Well, I think more what you would do is you would like blink up, and then if you get the ability, now you're at Airborne. Mm-hmm. So like you can really move to a lot of different places in one movement ability. Mm-hmm. But I don't know.
I do wonder because it feels very much like the Water Dragon in that way, where it's like, if you have a bunch of wolves where that ability would be good, then you are already winning.
Well, it's also a question of how many wolves do you need to make it viable. So, like, realistically, if you have 2 wolves in play, it's almost like I know this is strange. I was telling you before we started the stream, I think her name's Sarah Payne, who I went down this like military strategy history.
Wow. You are getting older.
Yeah. Some video popped up and it just, anyways. But she was essentially talking about various treaties that have been signed over time and how if you go too far with a treaty, it doesn't get upheld, and if you go not far enough with the treaty, it also doesn't get upheld. So there's this balance. What I mean by that is like, if you have too many wolves out, your opponent has to answer it. Mm-hmm. If you have too few out, it doesn't do anything.
Right.
But it's like there's some number of wolves that's like, if I have 2 wolves out, you're not gonna like earthquake them, or do you actually even spend the removal on it? If I've got 7 out, you were going to deal with the wolves.
Yeah,
like it's
I don't
know if
you play your Poison Nova or whatever.
Yeah, and I don't know that it's realistic to even think about getting past 2 or 3. Mm-hmm. Your opponent's going to be dealing with them. They're going to be attacking or burying or whatever.
Yeah,
and so
there's less Grim Reaper out there right now too. So I don't think.
Oh my god, that would be devastating.
I mean, Avatar of Air would probably run Grim Reaper, but I think that's the only deck you'd have to worry about with Grim.
I didn't even consider Grim Reaper.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite answers back in the day.
Goodness, I love that art
when it was running around. I have a foil alpha Grim Reaper.
It's killer.
I think I do. I think I still do.
You got rid of the princess, didn't you?
No, I saw the princess.
What?
Sure. Yeah. I will sell it to anybody who wants it for a lot of money.
This is now turning into a what's that app?
QVC?
No, the auction app.
Oh, that awful place.
Yeah.
Whatnot?
Is it Whatnot?
Yeah, Whatnot. It's like a fever dream.
Suddenly we're whatnotting.
It's like
Steven's
a
like, here's my princess for sale.
I think it's still in here. I don't know. I kind of
We have that.
Look at them. There they are.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, and you got Lady Assault. Look at that.
Alphas, both of them. They're slab 10s.
That is
and Plague of Frogs. I think that's a big one.
That is. Look at you, little
seriously,
collector.
Contact me. Impact with the Devil. Contact me. I need money more than cards right now. Seriously. Oh my gosh.
He's building a house.
This is beta though. This is a beta.
So I guess is anyone out there? Have there been any wolf decks that have been doing anything, or is anyone cooking on them?
Dude, nobody's running a wolf deck.
I'm going to go into the tank on this one because again, there's There's also a world where, so if you're not Dragonlord, then Moonsong is just a 1-of in your deck that you're going to see like every 5th game, which is fine. But I don't know. I don't know if you almost have to be on Dragonlord for this to make sense.
Yeah, you do. Otherwise, the wolf decks would already be great. Because, again, it's not going to change
if you don't. But basically, the ability to pay 3, get Airborne, and +1 for each nearby wolf on your avatar. But, like I was playing Avatar of Earth, and you're feeling pretty good if you're at +3. And you're swinging for 4 on things. So there's also things like Grapple Shot, right? You Grapple Shot up next to your wolves, and you're at a certain power all of a sudden. You hit, and you get to swing again. And it's Air Earth, so you get to play those cards.
Yeah.
But I think I'll start with trying the Dragonlord and go from there. I just don't know how many wolves need to be in a 50-card deck for it to make sense. It is a big piece of this pie.
It's also weird too. You're probably using that Dragonlord ability instead of playing a wolf. You're paying 3 instead of 2 for the wolf out of hand. So how often is that actually better than just playing the wolf card? And of course, it's like all these avatars that they have to get to 5 mana, 3, 4 mana, 6 mana before they can even really think about doing anything else.
Yeah.
So then, because if you're gonna, maybe you go to 4 and that's your curve, and you just try to go, but you're gonna run out of cards on turn 4 or 5, man.
Do it was last comment.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think it's low odds that it can actually get there. Fundamentally, because, like you were saying, if basically what my avatar is doing is letting me pay 3 to get Airborne and +1 for each nearby wolf. The +1 is very conditional.
Let's just assume that puts you most of the time to 2. Let's say it puts you to 3 power most of the time. It seems underwhelming because you're still going to take the damage from whatever you're removing.
Yeah, you would actually be better off playing Avatar of Earth with wolves
we're cooking.
And Moonsong in your deck.
Now we're cooking.
Because
an Earth Air Avatar of Earth deck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which is not atypical.
That's already what you're doing.
Yeah, you're already playing this direction. Then you get a 3/3 flyer that gets +1 for wolves. So then how many wolves do you have to put in there? Now that said, let me just pull up.
And hey, dude, if people start switching to these Earth Fire, Earth X Sorcerer decks, you're back to having all the Earth sites around.
That's right.
We've got to outthink the meta here. We've got to be one step ahead.
Right. Plus, wolves are the best use case for this card.
Hamlet. Yeah, they cost 1 less to cast. The problem with that, though, is you don't often want them there.
Yeah, you don't.
It's usually not a mana issue. It's a card issue.
But it
would be funny. A Hamlet.
Let's just see what I was playing back in the day.
Attracted to the ham.
Might be the first time Magellan Globe sees play, too.
So,
you do Magellan Globe.
You're basically going to have to cut from a traditional deck either really good units, both the wolves.
We're watching this concept die in real time.
We really are.
It's withering on the vine.
Oh, it's so bad. Oh, man, it's hurting. Because you're basically going to lose really good magic spells or really good units to get wolves in your deck. You know what we're actually watching? We're watching me turn from a wolf deck into an Avatar of Earth deck. It's
it's like trading one bad fruit for another.
Yeah.
It's but this is the one I know.
There's no way. There's just got to be no way.
Unless you can think of some kind of grand accelerator that hasn't been thought of before to get a bunch of wolves out suddenly.
Yeah, it's almost like the Foot Soldiers Bodeka conversation, which is if you could get 6 wolves out routinely. So you would have to have a massive card draw engine.
Yeah.
And then cards. It's here come the wolves relentlessly. But it's unlike the Foot Soldiers in that you don't have a card that says play 9 of them.
Yeah.
1 card into 9 Foot Soldiers.
Yeah. Now you're an heir. Let's just assume you're an heir.
Well, you have to be playing the Moonsong.
So you get 2 Grandmaster Wizards. You can run all the Apprentice Wizards and just waste time drawing into wolves. You can run Dream Quest.
I bet Sorcerer would be better than Dragonlord. If you need a lot of cards for
we
wolves.
have arrived.
Yeah. But then if you're going to draw 2 cards of Sorcerer, is the wolf ever better than, I don't know, any other unit you could draw?
And a Prince Wizard for a wolf is not great.
That's sort of the problem, is like by themselves, very bad. In large numbers, pretty good. But are they, at what point are they actually better than any other, like all the uniques you were showing earlier for Fire Water? Even at 5 strength, a wolf is just an Amazon Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have to have 5 out to get to. Now they're all Amazon Warriors at that point.
Pretty impressive.
But it took you 5 wolf cards. So they could have literally all been Amazon Warrior level.
Is the cards. I think Sorcerer is the only thing that possibly makes sense for a wolf deck.
But then even then, you would just rather almost have anything.
I would say that there are better units out of the gate than a Grey Wolf for 2.
Yeah, but like how many wolves do you have to have before they're all greater than the units you could have had?
Well, I mean, you know, we lose our minds for a 3 cost 4 power. So what's 2 wolves? 2 cost 3 power? They become boss trolls at that point, is that right? They start at 2?
They start at 1.
They start at 1?
They start at 1.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think we should go there.
I think it's just off the
I
table.
think we should get out of that. Yeah.
We didn't even make it out of the first stream, and my dream died.
I mean, you can run the wolf deck. I wouldn't. You shouldn't do that, actually.
I think wolves need like a special meta, like an ordinaries only deck.
Yeah, certainly that would help. I think Sorcerer is a game that's very stingy with its card draw, and we love it for it. But it makes low-cost combo units very bad. Because that would require drawing 6 cards a turn and playing all of them, and drawing 6 cards a turn and playing all of them. That's how these decks work in other games.
Even if you could draw 3 a turn and play them all.
Yeah.
If you could do that, that's why Sorcerer is close, because you can draw 2 a turn. If you actually hypothetically imagine your entire deck is 49 Grey Wolves and the Dragon.
People have done it. Those crazy guys have done it. Yeah.
And with Sorcerer, you can draw 2 cards every turn. And so you could literally play 2 wolves every turn. Period.
Yeah. The problem is you just put out 2 power units.
Yeah, but if your opponent doesn't remove any of them, now next turn you have 3 power units.
It's like that joke.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll work for us.
But like, you know, if you play 2 a turn, they have to remove 2 units every turn.
Right. So what that looks like, though, in reality, as we know, is they have units on the board.
That's right.
And they just kill the wolves. And then you play 2 more, and they have 2 units plus whatever they play.
That's right.
And they kill the wolves.
Yeah.
And then,
But that's their exchange. Even once they get 2 units down. Now, if you had enough locations out, like, you know.
What if you had Whiteheart, and then they can't attack your wolves?
Well, now we're talking,
and
right?
it's also a beast.
Now we're a wolf beast assorted animals deck.
And you've got Sir Gawain, Ivan?
Well, like, you also have things like Gnome Hollows, right? Where they can't just stack it. You can put your wolves in there, and then they're hiding, right? You could also do things like play in normal locations. You would play towards your opponent, but start playing this direction, right? And you can start loading up wolves. You know, they're like a hidden wolf pack.
All right, hold on. I was thinking about this.
But really,
actually.
though,
have you seen the card Recall?
I'm gonna recall it.
Let's just look at it. Teleport any number of allied minions to the caster's location. Okay. Now you build your wolf cache in the background of the
wolf
game.
pack.
Yeah, back here in the corner where they're not even trying to engage. And then you blink and move your avatar, and you drop all those wolves on a singular location, and they run wild, dude. 6, 7 power.
Yeah.
7 of them just boom, boom, boom.
I think that's how it would have to go.
And it's the Arbiter strategy from Protoss.
You could hypothetically, and there's ways this goes wrong, of course, but you could
Impossible.
you could hypothetically have 15 wolves in your deck, right? And it's like every time you have a wolf, you're gonna play him over in this like hidden fortress location, and it would be a heavy control deck with Sorcerer, where you're really not letting your opponent win.
Wolves and removal. That's all it is.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you're just controlling them until the point you have 10 wolves in. And then you move them all in at once. And that is your, like, it's almost like the Archimago Craterize multiple times thing. Where it's like, this is your big bomb that is going to eventually go off.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's.
I mean, think about a deck that's half wolves and half all the removal and the 2 elements that you choose.
and one is earth necessarily.
So you've got 4 berries, 2 earthquakes. You've got some weird like other stuff, I think. But you've got Quagmire that makes the board immobile for a turn, so that's a big one. I mean, in my water deck, I'm running like Bogs and potentially the Disabler thing. So there's some slowy, downy locations. Gnome Hollows you've got, you know. So
you run the dumb Perilous Bridge, and you're just like trying to be annoying. You run Rip Valleys to move stuff around and get it out of the way.
So if your turn is remove a thing, play a wolf, remove a thing, play a wolf, remove a thing, play a wolf, I think you can get there.
I think there is a possible. And side note, well, the worst kind of things that could happen to your, I'd have to look at all the cards, but like a Poison Nova that just 1 damage kills.
You got
everything.
Shield Maidens.
Well,
Yeah, dude, it's just 3 Shield Maidens, the wolves,
okay.
and the removal.
Have you seen The Jerk?
No.
There's a scene where it's a Steve Martin movie. My dad loved it, and he kind of idiots his way into a mansion fortune thing.
Nice.
But then at some point, he's losing his mansion, and he's like, "I don't need it anyway. I don't need any of this." And he's like going to leave, and as he's leaving, he's like, "I don't need anything but this binder."
Yeah.
He's like, and I don't need anything but this binder and this cup. Yeah. And by the end, he's like walking with the thing. So it's like, we're like, okay, it's going to be half wolves, half control. We don't need anything else. He's like, oh, well, except for the Shield Maidens.
Yeah.
And then what ends up happening is by the end, we have 0 wolves and we have an Avatar of Earth deck. Is where this ends up.
No, we got Shield Maidens.
But this is
removal.
This is, I think it's actually, while we're joking about all the things,
This is serious.
it's a real thing in that if you actually have a theory for how you're going to win, it's not just can I build a standard sorcery deck with wolves in it that could win. For it to be good, clearly no one has found a theory yet that works, and it might not exist. But this is the fun of the exercise.
This is the beauty of it. Yeah. No one's ever thought to add removal to the wolf deck.
Well, it is. I've seen this over and over again, where you take a, I guess, an assumption that, and you turn it on its head, where normally if you're playing wolves, you would think, I have 4 wolves out, I'm going to be using them. But the assumption is that you're actually using the wolves instead of hiding them.
Yeah, and then was thought to put them in the hollow and just sit there for a while.
Well, the problem with the hollow is after you play a
around.
couple, you can't play more in the hollow.
Right.
But the hollow does prevent things, because like your
Varmint Warrens.
the what?
Varmint Warrens. The beasts in the Varmint Warrens can't be targeted. It's a 3 of exceptional Earthsight. New. Arthurian Legends.
John just left for a second,
Yeah,
so
he
I want to
did.
see that. What's Power of Bliss do?
It turns all mortals into garbage.
Beasts?
Remember when you played that? You don't remember?
No,
Power of Bliss?
I know it got rid of the mortals, but I feel like there was more to it
It
than
turned
that.
all mortals into beasts and blanks their text.
But doesn't it do something for beasts?
Maybe it does.
That's what I can look. I have the
John was suggesting Bower of Bliss.
No, beasts and are silenced. The mortals, but there are things that benefit beasts. So hypothetically, if you had a lot of control, so you don't lose somehow, and how many would you need? Because what you really need is once you start using the wolves, they're at a high enough strength that your opponent's units can't kill them. Like once you're at 6 wolves and they're all at 7.
Oh yeah, I think you've got the game at that point.
You have 7 strength wolves, so you should be able to get the game. So there's a number. Like 5 is probably even enough. If you can surprise them in and do 20 all in one turn.
Yeah.
And now they're all 5 strength. It doesn't matter if they can get control. That was kind of my point earlier about, I think a lot of times with wolves too, people see it and you're like, I need 15 of these somehow to be in play at the same time. I don't think it's that much at all. I think 4 to 4 would be 16 damage. But if you count your avatar, you need 4 to be able to do 20 in one turn.
But you can't count the avatar, right? Because you're playing Sorcerer. You have to play Sorcerer. Yeah. You got removal wolf.
I mean, yeah.
You need as many 3-cost removal and lower spells as
even
possible.
better. What you actually need is 8 resources and 4 wolves on one turn.
So you think you might want to rent Tony Hawk it?
Then you don't even need to hide them.
You hide them in your hand.
And if you're drawing 2 a turn, you could probably get there. And then actually, if you're playing a location where your ordinaries cost 1 less, now you play 6 wolves on 1 turn.
You drop them all in the hamlet.
The wolf hack is showing up now.
And that's an ordinary side, is it not?
Yeah.
So the likelihood of drawing that if you do a full mulligan is pretty good.
Yes. All right, the dream is a little bit alive. I will do my best to have something by next week. But I do think I can see a world where you're playing Sorcerer, and your goal is essentially to play Control until the point where you can play 5 wolves at once.
It's a combo deck. Yeah.
Yeah, but is there anything that would give them charge? That's the real ring dinger right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like if there's a site.
I feel like I have looked at this before for this reason. There's the aura that does it. That is the air aura, I think.
There's also what's the opposite of Jihad?
Crusade, but it doesn't. It's the same. It's +1 power. It's
But it
not
would let you play
charged.
your wolves in the right spot.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'll tell you exactly what it is. We'll look at it right here.
Duos's banner. Varmint Warrens. You were saying that. What's that do?
Yeah.
Beast here can't be targeted by enemies. And it's got bunnies on it. I love bunnies. Look at that one in the back standing up. Bunnies are the best, man. I love bunnies.
You really do like some weird stuff. Evil
Bunnies
presence.
are weird?
Okay, evil presence is not.
Listen,
Holy Spirit.
When I was a kid, Thumper was my guy.
Okay.
He's the least depressing part about Bambi.
Horn of Carleone. Nearby minions have charge. 4 cost. Elite.
See, just don't get it swapped.
I mean, that's the kind of I mean, it is a little bit fairyland here, but
it is, but it's also not fully because.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's actually say we have the -1 location out, right? If you're playing Control and you get to 8 resources, you can play Horn and 4 wolves in the same turn. They'll have charge.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're doing 16 out of 20 on turn 8.
That's right. Yeah, you've done it. It's
Easy,
basically like
easy.
a Craterize. Kind of like one.
Or really, you get to 4, you play the Horn. They have 1 turn to get rid of the Horn. The next turn, you move your avatar up, you play 4 wolves, swing for 16, turn 5.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually not crazy.
What do they do? If you play 4 wolves and there's a Shield Maidens out, what kills those 4 wolves?
They're basically prevent 1 and 5 strength.
Mm-hmm.
It would be like Earthquake.
Mm-hmm. So you need your own water.
Maybe.
It's the safest place for a wolf to be. And you can call it Sea Dogs. Wait, I think somebody already did that. I'm good about it. This is making me crazy.
And there's also the other dream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting.
Kind of do an in-run around your opponent's annoying sites and everything like that.
Yeah, I'm thinking about like if you ran like Earth, Air, Sorcerer, and you run the wizards that draw, and you're basically just trying to be able to play. That's right, Dio. You're basically just trying to play Control until the point. How is that Horn elite or unique?
Let's see.
You Sparkler?
Yeah.
Spice Mango?
No. Let me go to the bathroom, right?
We haven't even gone yet. Both of them are occupied.
Oh my goodness. Look at that. Let me talk about this for a minute. I'll take it. You know what? I'll try it. Here we go. This is apparently Guy Fieri's Flavor Town. Spiced Mango Sorbet Waterloo. Who's bringing the stream to you today. Without their precious funds, we wouldn't have been able to be live. I'm just kidding. But the idea of a spiced sparkling water is terrifying. I call them spicy waters because my niece called them spicy at some point. Have you tried this yet?
I have not.
Do you
tried
drink
that
any of these? Are you a spicy guy?
Normally, I mean, I'm from New Mexico.
Better 20 saying these are so good. You from
They'll
New Mexico?
remove my New Mexican card if I don't eat spice.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to try this and see how it goes. It's okay. It's not spicy at all, actually. It just tastes like it tastes like the kind of orange fruits that I don't like. Like, I'm not a huge peach fan, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Versus like oranges are okay. They're like sharper flavored. This is, I mean, it's mango, so that checks out on where it's at, but it's okay. Better saying lemon ice. Yeah, the lemon ice I do like quite a bit, actually. All right, so the horn is elite. We just decided. So the thing is unique. What's the location that makes the ordinaries -1?
Hamlet.
So of course you play 4 Hamlets. The thing that makes this interesting is that, you know, what I was saying earlier about the card exchange on wolves is if you are going to have 5 wolves out and you're doing that across turns, you almost would have rather had any other 5 cards. But you can't play 5 cost cards, if that makes sense. So I actually think I took a sip. It's okay. You got the one that's really good though. Have you had that one yet? We're talking about it. So here's the theory. Okay.
Thrilling stream.
Yeah. Well, it was a word from our sponsor, so it's a natural break.
Good.
On the wolves.
Guy Fieri?
The Guy Fieri. You said that the other day. It got me. I was not ready. So earlier I was saying, you know, if you're gonna have 4 or 5 wolves out, fundamentally the problem is that could have been 4 or 5 any other card.
Well, depending on the cost.
Yeah. But like, assuming you were gonna play like 1 or 2 a turn, you could have played like Morgana as a 3.
Yeah.
And insert other cards here, right? Autumn Unicorn is another one that comes to mind for a similar thing.
Mm-hmm.
However, one of the things here is with Hamlet, I know we're in combo territory, but with Hamlet, make sure ordinary is -1. And at 5 resources, you cannot play 5 cost cards.
I hope not.
But you can play 5 Grey Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
And they are all now suddenly 6s on the board, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or if you play 4 of them, they're all now 5s.
Mm-hmm.
So
John's right. The Hamlet was the call.
I think it was the Hamlet, but it's the reality of like the only reason this possibly works is that you could actually pull this off on turn 4. Turn 4, you could play 4 Grey Wolves, and if they don't have a kill all of them right now answer, you're swinging for a ton.
You probably win.
In turn 5, if you actually played a horn the turn before, they have to remove the horn immediately. If they cannot remove the horn, you might just win the game on the spot, turn 5, which is fast enough. Now, if you're a control deck as well, this is the interesting thing. Like, this is the kind of combo that can get around an Archimago long-term thing.
Yeah, because they don't have the moment, yeah.
If Archimago is going to take 10 turns,
you got time.
You've got time to actually set this up and do it. So in my mind, if you're playing Earth, Air, you play the wizards that draw cards actually for you. Because
you're filtering.
And you play a bunch of control. Any control that draws cards, obviously, really good. And you really don't need, you just need to be able to get 5 wolves in hand by turn 5. Or 4 wolves in hand by turn 5, right? That's really the only.
How many? Okay, so hold on. I'm going to look at this.
Better to say no threshold, remember?
Hamlet has no threshold. But you don't really need threshold, I don't think.
You just need 1 for the wolf.
Okay, so let's just be real about this. If we draw our opening 3 sites and we don't see a Hamlet, we pitch it. We draw 3 more, so I'm actually a sample size 10. By the time we get to turn 4, assuming we draw a site, every turn digging for it, there's an 82% chance you see Hamlet by the start of turn 4. If all you're doing is drawing sites at start of turn.
What are the odds that you see it after seeing 6 of your sites?
61. About over half. So let's just say half your games, you would see Hamlet in 6.
And that's before you've taken any other cards from the site. So what about when you see 8 cards? I don't want to have to assume that by turn 4 I'm drawing sites all the time.
About 75%, 73.3.
Okay.
So 3 out of 4 games you'll see Hamlet by turn whatever.
Yeah. Well, and I think
that's why we can't make the Atlas bigger. That's why it's staying 60-30. Did you see that?
instead of 60-40.
Thank goodness.
40 is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can't do the wolf drop once you go to 40 sides. It's just immaterial. All of them are kind of a waste of time. Okay. So let's just build it up real quick. It wouldn't take but a second.
All right.
I mean, I guess the question is how many wolves? We don't care about your site deck right now, but it's easy to imagine what it is. Here, I'll make my own list.
Start out with 60 wolves.
So,
And then
cut from
swap
there.
a card. Every time you swap in a card, you take a wolf out.
There you go. Now we are at 50 still, right? Are we at 50
Or
still?
50 wolves, sorry.
50. Or we'll be at 60 at Gothic. Gothic won't won't be out by SCG Con Houston, right?
No.
We would know that, wouldn't we?
I don't think so.
Okay.
So, what was the Hamlet? It was the name of it.
So I'm gonna work on sites. How about that?
Okay.
And you work on.
So I'm just going to look at all the cards that draw cards.
Not a lot, man. It's crazy. So I'm gonna do a quick filter. How easy is it to get that HDMI working, John? Does it work?
It should.
I've got the cord. You want to get wild and try it?
Let's give it a shot.
All right, I'm going in.
You got the cord handy there? We'll give it a shot and see what happens.
All right, give me just a second to get this in.
Yeah, there's not a lot of time.
There never is. It's crazy. That's what makes this game so good. Can you imagine when we first were like, you really should draw a card at the start of your turn every time. And then it was like, oh, that would really make the game different.
Okay.
Okay, my HDMI is in.
Let's see. Hey, here we are.
Nice job. Okay. So, sites. Let's go to Earth sites. And I'm going to assume, Zach, that you're going to basically just want to stall as much as possible. We'll throw some Holy Ground in there. We'll throw the Impenetrable Cops. Just start.
I'm also just going to search for the word beast.
And some burrowing. I mean, Kingdom of Margotha is interesting. At 3 threshold, all your wolves have burrowing, which means they wouldn't die to earthquake and bury. It's a unique site. It's not going to happen often.
What's the site?
We also have the dwarves that give all of nearby units burrowing. Let's put it in there for now.
Card that is relevant is Assorted Animals.
Yeah, it is.
Because you could essentially,
You still have to have a lot of money.
Yeah, but you pay 4, get 2 wolves. Like if you need 4 total, that is not a bad reality.
It's true. We're not going to worry about threshold right now. We're just going to be looking at
Oh, Brasila, I don't know how to say this word.
Bracalacan or whatever.
Giving nearby beast stealth. You play your wolves and then play it, and then they're harder to deal with.
Okay, move destroyed or modified. Yeah, I think we've got everything in here that's a pretty good... You got 19 kind of very obviously, I would say, worth running sites. Now, Pebbled Paths is going to be a question mark for you. Because if you're going to go in on Horn, I think you don't do Wall Protecting. It's such a trap. I think...
just looking at it.
But it is good. I mean, it's tempting, right?
It's like if they do kill 5 of your wolves,
Yeah.
at least you got something.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's just on the maybe.
I think don't even try for Horn at the start. Just see if you can prevent it from going poorly without charge. Oh, look, people are talking. People are already saying what I'm saying. Okay. Also, Assorted can't get copies of the same beast from Duo. Keep that in mind.
Worse.
So yeah, not great. And you're doing air as well?
Maybe. If you want to play the wolf, then yes. Which I do like the wolf.
The dragon?
Yeah.
The wolf dragon.
Wolf dragon.
There's the thing. I mean, you do get your towers. 3 light. You get your perilous bridge. let's just go there. You get your mountain pass. That could be a stally, nice stall for you.
You get White Heart.
Nearby minions, movement, permanently lose. Okay. I mean, you're at 24, so then we fill in with the multi-threshold sites, etc. We kind of figure out where you need to go.
Well, I think it's literally in a 50 card deck, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have your Apprentice Wizards and your Grandmaster Wizards and your Grey Wolves, however many that ends up being, you could run like Land Surveyor as like, obviously you play that instead of having to draw a site kind of a thing. But
yeah, you've got Kettletop.
Yeah, Kettletop is the way. But
how many wolves are you doing?
I don't know. That's the grand question.
Let's start at 25.
Because I think, let me pull this over here. I think, let me just.
I'm gonna add some stuff. Let's add some shield maidens. Give you a little protection there.
I don't even know if shield maidens are gonna be.
You got a lot of spots here.
Well, it's all got to be control, right?
Yeah, I mean, oh yeah, you got a gear. Okay, let's get your berries in your. You doing berry and earthquake?
That's right. I'm just going through all the air earth cards right now.
Okay, well here we'll do that together. We'll go air earth, and I don't need anything advanced. I'm gonna go magic. I mean, you've got a ton of removal in air.
I'm gonna just add one of each just so I can see that is relevant. It's like, okay. I'm not gonna put arc lightning. I don't think it gets there. Arcane barrage could be there.
What about ball lightning?
I don't know that it's good enough.
You really just kind of need.
You know, things interesting on the site. I'm just looking at all Earth air cards, but like Beacon is interesting because if you end up getting 2 or 3 resources and your wolves are all -1, like it could be weird. But
you need a lot of wolves in hand.
Yeah.
Call the war to search out shield maidens is kind of interesting.
Uh-huh.
Basically put 6 shield maidens in. That's, to me, maybe something. Chaos Twister is one of the best. Common Sense, search for a wolf. I don't know. It also could be a good utility for your removal.
Definitely berry.
We'll do a dispel in there too, just because. I mean, do you play Divine Healing?
It's possible.
If you're like losing, basically.
Well, if you're playing heavy control, it's kind of like kind of fits into that. Chaos Twister. Can you imagine a Chaos Twister hitting your wolf location?
So good. Huh. Dude, Minecart Madness. Is this the deck for Minecart Madness?
What does it say?
This turn, units can move between any sites in a span of land as if they were adjacent. Suddenly all the wolves are in the mine, dude. And they come streaming out. Boom, 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 boom.
I think that I'm going to start with just, can I play them all from hand?
Yeah, I think that's right.
So that you can kind of avoid those sort of cards. If you...
You could actually maybe get away with Stone Rain. Tactical move, that's interesting. Valor's kind of interesting. Okay. You know, not as much removal in this pool as I would expect, actually. I'm looking at basically Berry, Earthquake, Chaos Twister, Magic Missiles, Lightning Bolt, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That seems right. What's up, Matthias? Yeah, I hear you on that, Duo. I was just excited about the idea of Minecart Madness to be cool.
Lady Isolt is interesting. Like, if they do find a way to kill your wolves, they all just come to your hand.
Don't you dare put that in there.
I said it's interesting. Sir?
I mean, it would be maybe in a more tempo-y wolf deck. You're playing the wolf bomb.
The wolf bomb.
You're wolf bombing. So it's basically waste as much time as possible. Drop all the wolves. They do nothing. Win.
Mm-hmm.
And then they do nothing again, and then you win. Again.
Yeah. If we could be so fortunate.
You're kind of doing a version of the Nimbus Gen deck, just with more moving pieces.
What could go wrong? What could possibly go wrong?
Oh, baby. When you get in the deck builder, that's when things get real, isn't it? That's when you really start to wonder if you're making any sense at all.
I don't know that we are. What did they change about Quagmire?
Nothing. I mean, they changed to mobile to where it just means you can't move, which is ostensibly a change. What's up, Locator Gaming? Root Spiders could be Stolly cards.
Yeah, that was on my list.
It kind of sucks right now, though, with water everywhere. Geysers being played. It's not awesome.
I kind of feel as a backup win con, you may want to run Squirming Mess. Because if they disable your wolf bomb somehow, you have a backup.
You got redundancy.
I mean, I feel like it's got to be... I feel like the horn's got to be in here.
So if I were building this deck, I would just say I need to build the deck to win with the wolf bomb. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to lose.
Yeah, 100%.
And I would see if I can win with it over and over and over. And then if I kept sometimes winning and sometimes not, then I'd bake in redundancies. That's how you typically go about it too, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
We need to go hard into the concept.
Just to prove it.
Just to see if it's even worth redundancying.
Because, like, if you can get the Hamlet out and on turn 4 play 4 wolves, how often can a deck actually even deal with that? Because it's like 4 or 5 strength wolves.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, there are cards like Earthquake, granted.
Let's see what Steam Druid would do about it.
Yeah, like what cards would Steam Druid?
They would probably try to get... I mean, Lava Flow would do it. Move the owl in and do 5 to everything on that location. That's about...
How much does Lava Flow cost?
That's about it. It costs 5.
So if it's my site 4, if I'm going first, they can't unless they have obviously core, etc.
Right.
But
Which
like
most people. I don't think Mana Core would do it. Yeah, that would be about it.
So here's the theory.
Mm-hmm.
That's really it. It's just like
Hamlet and 4 wolves.
Yeah, that's the start.
And so you start with 3 cards. Let's say that's 3 wolves. And you start with 3 sites. And you're going to 4 mana.
I think it's your ideal.
So let's just say first turn, I'm drawing a site. Second turn, I'm drawing a card. Third turn, I'm drawing a card. Fourth turn, I'm drawing a card. And then I drop. So I have 6 cards to get 4 wolves and 2 control spells, ideally.
Yeah. So I think I'll start with like...
And then my hand is empty.
20 to 25 wolves, 25 control cards, and 5 to 10 total other things.
Basically a little half and half.
Yeah.
And that way, 3 of your 6 cards drawn should be wolves. So you might have to go heavier wolves, or just tool your mulligan.
Yeah, well, and at that point too, you like let's say you see Hamlet in your first 4 locations or whatever, 4 or 5. You don't need to draw more than the 4th location,
right? So
then you're just
that would put you at 6 cards if you only draw 1 site, 6 cards by turn 4.
Yeah.
So 4 wolves out of that, so that's 2/3 of your cards drawn would be wolves.
Yeah.
66%. So by the numbers, 30-ish wolves. 3 out of 5. That's close enough. 4 to 6, 3 out of 5. Potato. What's up, Bradley? Saying, I know nothing about Sorcery. Just heard about SCG Con next month and sounded interesting. Is it hard to find product, and would I just be wasting my time thinking about attending? Game looks complicated. A lot of good questions there.
You are in the right place.
In the right place, Bradley. We'll take them one by one. I know nothing about Sorcery, so I'll give you a quick rundown of Sorcery. Sorcery is I would say, a very high passion-driven project from Eric Olafsson, who is one of the main creators of, what's it called? Gears of War? What's it?
Path of Exile.
Path of Exile. Path of Exile, a very, very popular kind of alternative post-World of Warcraft MMO game that is well loved by the universe. So he was very successful in doing that and has always played Magic and loved early Magic and felt like the current state of Magic is a bit of a garbage disposal. So he said, hey, I've been collecting fantasy art for a long time. I'm going to take my chances at making a kind of old school feeling fantasy card game that hopefully makes me feel like I used to feel when I played Magic early in the Magic days. So what that means is that all the art in the game is traditional art. So it's painted the old-fashioned way.
By hand.
Then the high-fidelity picture is taken, and then it's put into the computer to create the card art that gets printed onto each of the cards. There are varying styles within the artist selected, so it has a nice kind of that early fantasy, eclectic representations of various creatures and spells in the world. And that also means that it is a much slower release schedule than a standard trading card game. So we're looking at about one big booster box set per year in the current framework, current rate of production, which for a lot of people is the only reason they're playing. It's the only reason they're playing any trading card game, because one set a year is something you can actually keep up with. You can actually enjoy the cards and the game and the meta. You have time to appreciate it and sink into it. Like right now, we're still playing around in a metagame that has existed really since October of last year? Is that when Arthurian came out?
Mm-hmm. I mean, technically a small Dragonlord product came out. The rules change that happened like a month ago was a month and a half, 2 months ago was big.
Yeah. But it's still, I mean, there's only a couple of sets out, and it's so much fun to still work in this metagame. It's top-down design, so really what that looks like is here's a beautiful art piece from an artist, and what does that card look like it would do? And then we design that into the game, so it's less of a spreadsheet, kind of each faction needs to have these core, essential, etc., and more like here's a bunch of beautiful things that are going to exist in this universe, and then let's make effects that look like they would work. Somehow it's all come out quite balanced in the grand scheme of card games. And then is it hard to find? No, it is not. Actually, go to our website. We're big supporters of the game. We partner with Ars Curiosa directly to make it easy to get, as easy as we can make it. So you can find Booster Box of the first set, which is beta. It's beta edition. That is the set I would start with. But really before that is the pre-con set. $50 for pre-constructed decks. Very good decks. Great to play against each other. Also has a booster pack in there and a rule book. So it is, I would say, the best starter product that I've seen in this industry to date. Is that fair to say? Presentation, vibe, construction, value.
Particularly for a collectible card game.
Yeah.
Yes. The thing that came to mind actually was the Earthborn core set.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
sort of anyways.
For a TCG.
Yeah, for a TCG, that's really great. So, and I would also recommend the Precon with the 2-player mat. The mat is actually very useful to have for Sorcery because of the zones. But if you got that, that's a great experience.
Yeah, and you can play that for the rest of your life, and that would be enough. A box of beta is great fun to open. 36 packs. A lot of staple cards still to this day. Majority of the staple cards in the game are from that set. The set that came out after that is Arthurian Legend. So that's King Arthur stuff, knights, fairies, that kind of stuff. It's really a supplementary set, so it's not the first booster box I would buy. I would do precons, then a beta box or two, just to kind of see if I like the game and the vibe of the game and the art, and the style of it. And then I'd grab like one Arthurian box to supplement and kind of get a new set experience. What's coming out this year, so we are told and hope, is Gothic, and that is all big heaven and hell style kind of divine fantasy set. So a lot of zombies, undead, necromancers, that side of the spectrum. And then I assume we're still getting like angels and stuff too, yeah?
Yeah, I think it's Angels and Demons.
Angels and Demons.
Is the
there you go.
I don't know the tagline of how they would describe it, but it's kind of good versus evil, angels, demons. There's definitely like both seemingly like they did the article about the graveyard, right?
Yeah.
There's like this undead piece and just all that kind of stuff.
Then would I be wasting my time attending SCG Con? I don't think so. I mean, even if you came in, if you're experienced with card games, you could come into SCG Con and play like a sealed event or a draft event, or I assume they'll have learn to play as well.
So they all weekend long are running pre-con learn to play events.
Perfect.
They also have sealed events.
Perfect.
Where you don't need to own anything. So if you're new, like I think if you're new, my suggestion would be to go ahead and pick up a pre-con and play and learn to play if you have someone to play against. Even if you didn't get that chance though, just showing up to SCG Con, doing one of the pre-con starter events if you want, and then jumping into a bunch of sealed all weekend. Incredible way to play without having to have a collection and build your collection throughout the weekend. Meet a bunch of different people. I think a lot of those are going to be newer people that have not played a lot. I think it'll be a great environment. And Sorcery, by its nature, is a lot more low-key friendly, just because of the way the rules are written and the way the cards are and the kind of community it is. So new people are definitely very welcome.
Very much. And then game looks complicated. Yeah, so that's kind of an interesting statement / question, I guess. The game is complicated. But I guess my point with that is it's great for me to finally have a game that I feel like has the evocative nature that is missing from modern trading card game design in still the least complicated package that I think you could get it in. Not maybe not the least complicated, but one of the lesser complicated ways to achieve that. So we played Middle Earth CCG, we played Lord of the Rings TCG, we played the Star Wars CCG. We played a lot of these older games, and the thing that makes them so great is that they make you feel something, like really. Something on the board that looks amazing, and the way that cards are interacting, there's a certain romance and beauty to that is completely missed in a streamlined trading card game that's designed for tournaments. And what Sorcery's been able to do is make me feel that same kind of way while still making it way less complicated than all the old 90s games that are very difficult to learn.
Yeah.
So for the most part, cards, I mean, things work as you would expect, where like a burrowing unit, you put it under the site. That makes sense. You know, a submerged unit, it goes under a water site because it's swimming, it's submerged. You can move and attack with each unit once per turn. You know, you draw a card, you draw a site. It's not that complicated, really.
I was gonna say like,
it's a little chunky, maybe.
In comparison to any card game that I've ever played, I wouldn't rank it high on the complicated scale. Partially because if you pull up like Autumn Unicorn, most of the cards look about like this, which is there's a cost on the top left. There's a threshold which you have to have that much on the table to play. Most of these only have one stat, which is strength, which is your health and how much damage you do. And then the card text here is blank.
Yeah, it's just
there's flavor text. And most of the card text, like that's one of the things Sorcery does. Like pull up Land Surveyor, is like a single line of text.
That's maybe that's the best way to put it. The game itself is more complicated than most TCGs because most TCGs read the following: refresh phase, draw 2 cards, untap everything, whatever. Play phase, play any number of units in front of you in your battle line and optionally attack or not. Cleanup phase, remove all tokens, etc. Pass the turn, right? that game structure is super simple. You don't have to talk about attacking sites versus attacking units, what intercept and defend and all these concepts
The
are.
complexities on the cards.
Yeah, but then you pull in a card from one of these TCGs and it's 7 paragraphs on the freaking card, and then you have 7 of those on the board, and then it's like, well, this is crazy. Like, this is not even fun. This is just a novel memorization contest. So I do like that the complexity is in the system. It's a chunkier, granular system that you can do a lot with, and then the cards can be a lot simpler because they don't have to carry the burden of complexity.
Yeah, and even then, like, I can teach someone to play very quickly, and what will happen, and this is why it reminds me of the 90s, is there will be moments that come up where you, like, I often have rules questions when I'm playing Sorcery. However, there's a golden rule, which is it works how you think it should work. And so for most of the time when we're just playing, it's like, well, how do we think this should go? And you do it, and maybe you look it up later or you post it on Discord or whatever. But the cards are, that's why I say it's almost more lean back in that they're written in such a way where there are questions sometimes to be the one sentence instead of the thing where it's like, well,
what does Archive the Realm mean?
What does that mean? Yeah, or like, how does it work when a unit enters Gnome Hollows and upon entering it gets +1 strength from something nearby? Can it enter Gnome Hollows? Like that kind of thing isn't clear unless once you get familiar with all the nooks and crannies. But to start playing, and if we had the pre-cons and we were playing, most of those things don't actually exist. And then a lot of times early on, you wouldn't even know to ask.
Yeah.
Like it's just not even in there.
And you fall in love with the game. I mean, that's the real truth of it, is 1 or 2 games in, even amid maybe some corner case stuff that maybe you don't understand, you're staring at a game that looks and plays phenomenally, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is what I have wanted the whole time. That's the way I felt about it.
Yeah, for sure.
It was like, oh my gosh, finally. And it's not like finally I get to play early Magic again or anything like that. It's a totally different kind of game, but it makes me feel something that I realized I had been missing since I was like 15.
Yeah.
All this streamlined tournament play stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that was like the amazing thing for me. I got into my second box of Alpha back in the day and realized I hadn't read a single card. I was just looking at the art. I was just literally looking through the cards, and then I was like, huh. And then it made me want to know what it did, so I read, and I was like, I don't know that I've read a single piece of text this whole time, which is fascinating. Happy to answer, Brad. Hopefully, if you see us at SCG Con Houston, say hello. And I definitely would encourage you to be there. I think it'll be a really great time. And, you know, I've never been, I guess, I did go to an SCG Con because they were hosting a big Fab tournament a while back. So I'll be curious how that feels. This is Sorcery's first event at SCG Con.
Bradley says, I haven't seen a lot of the area control in the TCG space. Almost reminds me of the old Decipher Lord of the Rings game that I loved so much.
Hey.
I'll get this, whatever this person is.
Yeah.
So if you love the Lord of the Rings Decipher games, then yeah.
Then you're probably in the right spot.
You're in it. Got it. Okay, so where did we land? Grey Wolves?
So here's what I plan to do. And there could be something that comes up that means we're not necessarily streaming Sorcery next week. But as far as I know, we're streaming Sorcery next week.
Are we getting ready for the con, basically?
By next week, I'm going to have the first prototype of a Wolves deck built. And like I said, I'm going to go mostly on Wolves plus control. And looking at the cards, like there's actually less control in Earth Air than I want there to be. So my Moon Song might be the actual dream that's dying. Because it requires both of those things. But I'll look at that. It might end up having to be like Earth Fire to have enough control to get the half my deck to be control. And I just kind of want to test on turn 4 or 5, if you can play 4 or 5 wolves, what happens? Like against reasonable decks. So
that's a good question. Yeah.
Yeah, because that might be enough. And if that's enough, it's actually kind of like, I don't even know how much control you need, because if you on turn 5, 90% of the time you can just play 5 wolves, and most of the time people can't deal with it.
Yeah. Because then you also get turn 6 or turn 5 or whatever. And then...
Well, and the crazy thing with Sorcerer is every 2 turns you can see 4 cards. So once you get to that moment, every 2 turns you can draw 4 wolves.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't have to be 2 a turn, but it's literally like every other turn I'm just going to play. If you were at, let's hypothetically say you had 50 wolves in your deck.
Yeah.
It's like turn 4 shows up and you have the thing. You play 4 wolves. You still have 2 cards in your hand.
Yeah.
Then the next turn you draw 2, you play 4.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's just like the portal opens and the wolves start coming.
So that's like theory number 1 test.
Yeah, I should test that.
So I'll have that, and then I'll also try to get a Sorcerer, Fire, Earth control standard style deck together. Are you going to build the Steam Druid?
We could build it.
Or I guess I can just build.
Yeah, I don't know that I have a collection to build beyond like 1 deck.
So you're going to build your mud.
I can build it's pretty much built already. I'll just make my swaps to it.
So then what do you think is, if you could test against 1 deck next week with the mud deck, what deck do you think is most important to test
I think you start with just the Druid. Let's just start with make sure you can get past the Druid check.
Okay, I'll try to have Sorcerer, Druid, and my Wolf deck built.
Okay. Because I think Steam Druid is kind of asking, can you beat a good aggro deck?
Let me add this to my list.
And then we don't need to beat it, like, obviously some people are going to be really, really good at it, and so like we may not beat it at that level, but it needs to be beatable in the Swiss rounds. Can you beat the aggro deck?
Let me put this over here.
What's up, Holy? And hey, Andre, good to see you. Andre said, I've always said if I ever wanted to write a fantasy novel, I'd just play a game of Sorcery, record it, and create the story from the gameplay. It's so engrossing. Yeah, a lot of old fantasy novels were written like that, right? Old D&D campaigns and stuff. Holly says, guys, we really want the tokens and mythic boards back. Most of them disappeared from the internet. I wanted to know, are mythic boards 3D printed? They are not 3D printed. The Mythos boards was a much different process. That's why they looked so much better.
Yeah. Resin casting, basically.
But yeah, no, we lost a friend of ours who basically was doing all of that work and that we partnered with for a long time to work on those concepts and get those designs done and get that moving. So they're just not, we just can't produce them anymore, and we haven't been able to find somebody that can. And it's just, right now, it's just not a priority to get those back online. But maybe one day. I mean, we still got the designs. We'd be interested in licensing them potentially if somebody thought they could really pull them off. So if that's you, let us know.
Yeah.
Or if you know the person, let us know. The mad scientist with all the different lasers and cutters and all that. All right, Zach.
Yep. All right. Hey.
Let's get on out of here.
We will be in the Discord channel. Look at our Discord in the Sorcery section, working through some of this as we go. If you're not already there, I highly recommend it. Some great people over there. And if you have any thoughts on what we talked about today, feel free to leave a comment either on YouTube or in the Discord channel. There's going to be an exploratory process, and I'm excited to see where we land up by Houston.
Me too.
I think it's going to be a good event. And if you're considering going to Houston, I highly recommend it. I think this will be it'll be fun, but I think for Sorcery too, just having a really good showing on that first event would be very good.
Is this the first SCG Con?
It is the first SCG Con with Sorcery, yeah.
Oh.
That's part of why we're going.
I thought this was the second one. I thought there was another one that was...
They did a Crossroads at Gen Con. That was the first Crossroads event, which is the big tournament on Saturday of the event.
I see.
But this is the first one specifically for Sorcery. So I think these events can be massive for them because there's so many people all the time that talk about they hadn't even heard of Sorcery, like our friend just a minute ago until recently. And when you have an event that has a lot of people that play games like Magic, as an example, at it, it's just a good opportunity to be in front of other card games and other people. And Sorcery is the kind of game
blow people away
when you're like burnt out of other games or you need a break. It's so perfect because it is such a slower pace and such a different kind of experience to everything else out there. That's why I think these could be such a good opportunity for the game. So excited to see how it goes, and hopefully it goes super well for them.
That's it.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for being here, y'all. We'll see you next time.